All right, what's up, everybody? It's game week. It's Bama week, and you know what? I'm not even going to waste time with a countdown. Let's jump right in. But 1 second, let's at least do the intro. There we go. Now we can begin. All right, what's going on, everybody? Javier, welcome. 28-24. You know what? And I'll get to the rest of the predictions in a minute, but it seems like a lot of you guys have similar predictions. It's 20, like upper 20s to low 20s. You all have the game finishing around there. Darnell Jenkins last week said 27-24 Miami. That seems to be the consensus, especially amongst Canes fans. But Degenerate Nation, yes, first rule, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Inching towards that 1,000, guys. So let's go. Help me get there. I think I got like less than 50 to go. So I don't know if I'll hit it by Saturday, but maybe we'll see. But it's game week. I'm excited, as you can see. Let's see. Swerve. Ooh, I love that logo. What's up, my Canes brothers? Yes, family. We are going to talk. We're not going to do as long a show, probably not the full hour. I am dog sitting back at my brother's place, so I got to hurry back over there. But in the meantime, I broke away for a little bit to talk some Canes with you guys. It's game week. Had to, obviously. So I know I gave my prediction on Sunday. It was Bama 34, Miami 23. If I'm taking my Cane fandom out of it, just as an objective watcher of football, if I'm watching this and I got no rooting interest whatsoever, that would probably be my pick. I honestly believe we're going to make this a game. Not only I think we're going to make this a game, I think we might jump on them a little bit early. This I don't know. It has that feel of, I don't know if you guys remember, love that prediction. I don't know if you guys remember the 2014 game with the 2014 game against FSU, where they're the defending national champs. We're going in with 3 losses at that time, but I remember we were like on a 3 or 4 game winning streak at the time. Our O-line was steamrolling people. Duke Johnson's just running it down people's throats against good defenses. We had just blown out Virginia Tech, and I don't know, we felt oddly confident going into that game. And sure enough, with a freshman Brad Kaya, we jumped all over FSU that night in the first half. Obviously, we go on to blow the lead. Thank you, Al Golden. But I think it was like 23-7 at the half. And we actually came in with a good game plan for once. Golden, D'Onofrio, and Coley actually had us prepared. So I obviously have way more faith in this coaching staff than that coaching staff 7 years ago. So I have a feeling this Manny and Coach Shoop and T-Rob and all these guys are going to scheme up some funky blitz packages that are going to give Alabama some trouble in the first half. So I would not be shocked if we jump out to a quick, 10-0 lead, 13-7 lead, something like that. And, we have them stumbling a little bit. Like in a fight, the underdog kind of catches the champion with a right hand, stumbles him, maybe drops him in the first round, and all of a sudden the fight feels different. That's how I feel this game could start and how I hope it's going to start, because that's the only way we're going to have a chance. Now, I don't think that will be sustainable because on size, on size and strength, obviously they have us, but in speed, athleticism, and experience with our playmakers, we've got an edge. You got to admit, we do. Let's see. John, I love your show, but you're objectively high. Please explain to me where Bama can beat us, because I have yet to find a scenario. Look, it's kind of like New England, well, maybe they're a bad example because Brady's gone. They're not really the same team, but, they've had Belichick all this time, and I always said they would start a season 0-2 or 1-3, and I was like, look, they have Brady and Belichick. They're going to be fine. As long as Nick Saban is with Alabama, they're going to be fine. They're always going to be title contenders, and he's always going to have them ready for openers. And I don't think this will be any different. They'll be ready. But this team, this Alabama team, they've got a few key injuries. They've got, you know, a young quarterback starting. So I see your point. I really do. But as far as X's and O's, I don't know. It's just they regularly just steamroll people in the trenches. However, again, 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen, I think, are new starters, or 3 out of the 5 at least. So, yeah, I see both ways. See, we all have Canes PTSD because we've seen this team fold because over the years we haven't been mentally tough. Agreed, and maybe that's why a lot of people are picking us to lose. Maybe that's why I'm picking us to lose. All right, I see us hanging with them. This is how I see this game going. It's going to be, I feel like it could be a lot like the 2014 game against FSU, that we jump on them early, but, you know, maybe because they're Bama, they can't, you know, we can't quite hang on, but we hung with them. Or like the 99 game against FSU, where, I mean, that was when they were the most dominant with Chris Weinke in that offense. That was just a machine. We went up there with Kenny Kelly and, you know, all those veterans, Nate Webster and Dan Morgan and all those guys. And I think it was 14-14 at half. And that FSU team was thought to be unbeatable. So maybe I'm proving my own point. Or maybe I'm proving your point now that I say it, because Bama has veterans in the front seven. I agree with you there. Bama has veterans in the front seven, but their secondary, it's got a couple question marks. That doesn't mean they suck, but I think this defense will have a nice bounce back. I know they gave up a lot of yards to certain teams, and they're vulnerable to a certain type of offense, which Rhett Lashley runs. So, but they're going to have a lot of experience there, which is the only thing. We really have to execute on offense, but we can score on them. We got to be able to run the ball. That's the part that scares me a little bit. Will we be able to run the ball against them? We got to establish a run. That's the one area that I think even you guys can admit it's going to be tough. Now, their offense against our defense, that's where, at least in the first half, until they figure us out, we can have a little fun with them. But Flo brought up a great point. What if they go 22 personnel and just jumbo set and just run it down our throats? Can our smaller, quicker guys shoot the gaps and stop it? That's another question mark. But I see your guys' point, and I can also see it going the other way, unfortunately, as well. That's why I'm kind of in the middle. But I really do believe we are going to be competitive. So sorry for going off on that tangent. Let me go to your comments. John, you got it right, bro. I appreciate you being truthful and honest. If you looked at the depth chart, they're only bigger than us at linebacker. Yeah, I agree. We are bigger at O-line. We still got a ways to go, I think. I mean, Zion is going to play, but he's not 100%. I don't think he is. It doesn't seem like he is, but he's going to play. He's projected by some as a first-round pick. You got 2 bulldozers at guard, but you still got kind of a small center and an undersized right tackle. So for this game, reason for concern. Now, the rest of the season, cocky Cane fan is coming out, because I don't think any other team, once this offense really gets cooking and this defense gets cooking and we find, you know, the right combo of punt returners and kick returners, and, you know, Andy Borregales has that confidence to go out there and make kicks, we're going to be hard to beat by anybody in our schedule. I'm just talking about this game against the defending national champs. I want to see what Bryce does after he gets planted on his back a few times. Tenga, that's a great point. That is something that Flo and I have been discussing a lot over the offseason. If we get punched in the mouth, can we respond? And will it take 5 possessions for us to respond, like in the bowl game, where we almost come back and win, but we felt we dug ourselves a hole. We fell behind 21-0. And not against a team like Bama. That was Oklahoma State. That was a decent team, quality opponent, but not a team, not a strong SEC team like these guys. Will we bounce back? But that's a good question too. If in the first series we put some pressure and Bryce gets hit in the mouth or gets sacked and maybe gets the ball stripped, how does he respond? That's a very good point. No one's talking about that. And we're going to throw some heat at him. Norman, what's going on? I think the reason Carter and McLeod are starting is Manny wants experienced guys facing off against Bama's 4 new starters on the offensive line, new QB, new receivers, new tight end, new OC, Manny looking for advantage. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. But also, look, Amari Carter is an athletic dude. Now, his coverage skills at safety maybe leave much to be desired, but if you look at 2017 and 2018 film of him, the way Manny used him in blitz packages, I loved it. He was used almost like a fourth linebacker, and he's bulked up obviously since then. So I saw it and I was a little surprised, but then I was like, wait, this defense is going to be rotating a lot. So yeah, Carter and McLeod are listed as starters. So we'll get to the depth chart now because, I figured that would be a topic of discussion now that the depth chart dropped a few days ago. But I think these guys are going to rotate a lot. I think Carter and Frierson are essentially splitting snaps. They're going to be on the field. There's going to be packages where they're on the field at the same time. There were times, and if you look at Steve-O's game film breakdown, there were times that Carter lined up at the mic, and there was times where that worked. So, that he's listed on paper as striker 1, that doesn't mean he's always going to be striker 1 every snap. He could, he's going to split snaps with Frierson. There's going to be some where maybe Frierson moves over to the weak side. Maybe Carter plays middle. Maybe James Williams comes in for a few snaps. It's going to be a lot of rotating, guys. You don't think this is a little bit of gamesmanship by Manny? Because that's what I would do. I would, release whatever my depth chart, my 2 deep is, but I would have an ace up my sleeve for sure. Notice James Williams listed as a backup safety. Awesome. You don't think he's going to be used somewhere else? Come on. I would have, I'd be hiding something for sure. I'm sure Coach Saban is as well. Do you think speed of our linebackers can negate the bulkiness of the Bama offensive tackles on pulling plays? Great question. And that is something that I'm sure that's one of the things I'm concerned about. They probably watched that North Carolina game film and they're like, well, why don't we just do the exact same thing they did and wait, do it until they stop us? They could do that. Our linebackers, I love Keontre Smith on the weak side. Speed, athleticism, I think that's a clear upgrade. And believe it or not, moving McLeod to D-end, I think is not an upgrade from what we had at D-end last year, but I think it's an upgrade for him because, I heard nothing but positive things coming from camp. He bulked up 20 pounds like that in like 2 months. He's, according to what I'm hearing, he's a true 6'2", 6'2.5", so he's like close to 6'3", so he's not small. So I think, all the people that were freaking out that Zach McLeod was starting, again, he's going to be splitting snaps. It's not every snap that he's out there. But don't be shocked if he has a nice season. Remember, this is the coaching staff, and this is the head coach that has had an 8-sack defensive end every single year. What if it's McLeod this year? Are you going to be upset with him still being on this team then? But to answer your question, Keontre, I like his speed and athleticism. I'm not crazy about Flag's speed and athleticism. So I'm a little concerned about the Mike linebacker position there, especially with Sam Brooks. He's not going to be available, at least not for this game. So I am a little concerned about the middle linebacker position against Bama. I like Flag for the rest of the season. I think he's going to be solid. But again, could see like a carousel at linebacker of guys getting moved around. I think that's why Amari Carter is listed as a starter in this lineup. I don't think it's going to be always at striker. I think UNC will lose to VTech. Do you? I don't. I think they're going to blow out VTech. I think VTech sucks. I heard Corey Gainer's pushing 310. Yeah, he's at 308, I think. Gainer's put on some good weight, I will admit, but he's not that. Well, maybe he will be. Maybe he will be that people mover that we've needed him to be. He's not quite as athletic as like Ja'Kai Clark to get to the second level and hit those linebackers. That's my only concern with him. But you need experience at center, that's for sure. How can I super chat him from Australia? I can't then, so I can't Venmo or Cash App. Unfortunately, Javier just answered your question. John needs 100 subscribers in order to have that feature. So please hit that subscribe button. Once I'm at 1,000 and certain things get approved and certain paperwork gets filled out, then the super chat feature will pop up for you guys. But be patient and just help me get there faster. The question is, if Bama falls behind by double digits, can they respond? Excellent question again. Young offense. They got playmakers. Don't think that they don't have. They're not absolutely reloading with talent. This is no different from any other year. They are reloading that cannon with some five-star talent. So, it's not going to be easy either way. But if they're, we jump on them a little early and there's a little adversity for them early, how will the young men respond? That's a good question. And no one's talking about that because everyone's just assuming because it's Bama, they're going to, they're just going to steamroll everybody. That's when dynasties tend to fall. Remember when Miami joined the ACC, that was towards the end of their dynasty. And it was like, well, Miami's just going to win the ACC every year or be in it every year at the end because they're Miami. When people started saying that, they're going to be there because they're Miami, that's when things started to crumble. So just saying. Zach, what's going on, man? I haven't talked to you in a while. What up, fam? Everybody hit that like button. Hope all is well, brother. Let's see. Sigmund, how do you feel about tackling those big backs for Bama? They're just as big as our linebackers. They always have massive running backs, but I feel much better about our tackling this year. I think they've been working on that. And from what I hear, it's much improved. I don't think it's going to be a night and day difference. I mean, that takes time to improve because they were doing it one way for the last few years. But I think they've tweaked and made some changes. They're going to tackle much better this season. And gang tackling is going to be huge in this game. You got to hustle to the ball. You got to swarm. And really that's effort and conditioning. So all the prep they've put into this point is going to show in this game. I don't know if y'all remember, there was plenty of time Corey Gainer looked like he was skating. He was skating backwards, being pushed into the running back and quarterback. What's the issue of not having? Was that an issue of not having enough weight? That's part of the issue, but at Swerve, I think the main issue was we were telegraphing a lot of our running plays. That plus Navon Donaldson wasn't there last year. Jalen Rivers wasn't there last year. We had very small guards in comparison. We didn't have guys that were 320, 330 and 6'6". We had guys that were much smaller. So I think it was a combination of the two things, but this playbook is going to be really opened up, and yeah, it's going to get fun. But yeah, regarding the depth chart, tell me what you guys think, about Zach McLeod starting, about Amari Carter, about the running back position. Maybe let's start there. Don Chaney is, he's everybody's favorite back on the team, not listed as a starter. Not a surprise to me at all because the number one back, I'm blanking. Cam Harris, sorry. It's been a long day. Cam Harris is listed as a starter. He did not do anything to lose the job. I don't care what anyone says. That dude is the real deal. He's put in the work. He's really bulked up. I don't know how much weight and muscle he's put on, but the guy is huge. The dude is serious. And when he has room to run, he has shown that he can hit 22 miles an hour. going down the sideline. So I'm a Cam Harris fan. I do think Don Chaney is special, and he's going to be that next great back at Miami. He's going to go down as, I think, if he stays healthy, one of the all-time greats. But this situation at running back reminds me a lot of, some of you might not be old enough to remember, 99, 2000. Okay, I was just a wee boy in junior high, just starting to follow the Canes. I remember we had a dude by the name of Clinton Portis. Y'all might remember him. He only went on to have maybe a Hall of Fame NFL career. We'll see if he gets inducted to Canton. But Clinton Portis, there was no doubt in anyone's mind in 99 and in 2000 when he started touching the ball as a true freshman that he was special. No doubt, Clinton Portis was special. But Butch favored the bigger backs, and we had guys. We had Najee Davenport, and we had another guy by the name of James Jackson. Okay? People forget James Jackson was a very good, very, very good, if not great, college running back. I love James Jackson. Dude ran hard. He was physical. He was fast. He was a leader. James Jackson was a beast. Cam Harris, very similar to that. I want to see a little less hesitation from Cam, but it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same scenario there. So at running back, I'm not shocked at all that Cam Harris is the starter. I think he deserves it. And yeah, good point, Norman. They're splitting the snaps. It depends on the situation. Depends on how the flow of the game is going. Chaney and Harris will see a bulk of the snaps. Cam has no vision. I don't know if Cam has no vision. I just think he gets in his head and hesitates a little bit. Early last season, there was no hesitation, and look what happened. Look at him tear up those defenses. Jackson played many years in the NFL. How many years did he play in the NFL, James Jackson? You know what? Actually, no, I'm not going to look it up now. You guys, if one of you guys can look it up, tell me if James Jackson played. I know he was there for a little bit. I think he was on the Browns at one point. John, what's good, bro? Hey, what's going on? Rasta, drive safe, man. It's wet out there. Let's see, man. Miami needs to open Pandora's box on offense. They need to unleash the Leviathan on defense. Yes, sir. I love that. I love that talk. Javier, you should talk to the team, honestly. Give the pregame speech. Because I love some of your quotes. 904 Hurricane, I think fans are underestimating how good Zach can be. I will point towards the bowl game last year. That was with only weeks preparation for the position. Not even weeks, 904. That was like the week of the game. They decided, yeah, we'll just put you at a totally different position on defense. Cool, I'll do what I can. And, he did what he can. He had moments where he put a little pressure on the QB, and but also that was Blake Baker's defense where we were just hanging back and letting him dink and dunk us to death. But you saw his quick get off and all that stuff. So I think he could be a decent edge rusher. Now remember, it's not Zach's fault that Chance Williams, I expect big things from him maybe towards the end of the season. It's not his fault that Chance isn't quite ready to break out yet. Jafari Harvey on the other side, congrats to him getting the starting job. I think he's going to have a big year. But yeah, it's not Zach's fault. We don't have a ton of depth at that position. We just had 3 NFL guys leave. So maybe that's his true position all along. John, 5. James Jackson was 5 years in the NFL. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's way more than the average, which is like 2. Maybe that was his true position. Well, he did start getting recruited by Golden and D'Onofrio when we ran more of like a hybrid 3-4 kind of thing, which I don't know what they were doing running that at Miami. And never really recruiting a true nose tackle when they did that, but I can go off for a while on that. But yeah, I think his position was more of an outside linebacker / edge rusher. We'll see if that's the case. Maybe for certain guys on this defense, I think this extra COVID year is going to be a blessing in disguise. Do you think Arroyo makes it into the game? Absolutely. Yes. You have to put him on the field. That kid is special. I know, shout out to Wholesome One. I know he hates when we start proclaiming that super early, but I don't care. That dude, I'm calling it right now. Elijah Arroyo special. Not that he's going to leapfrog Mallory in the depth chart or anything. I think Mallory's special as well. But yeah, I think Arroyo gets in the game. I think we see a few 2 tight end sets. Not so much for running packages, but more to get playmakers on the field and create matchup nightmares. And you know what? I think with him and guys like Redding and Keyshawn Smith that can go up and get it, I think we're going to be much better in the red zone too. So yes, to answer your question, I think we see Arroyo. DeAndre Johnson is going to be our best DN. Maybe he's the most experienced at that position, and that's another guy. We spoke to his former high school coach from Southridge. Flo and I did a few weeks ago. We had him on the show. And he said that, yeah, DeAndre is now moving towards his true position. So I'm excited to see that. Let's remember, guys, Alabama does have 4 new starters on the offensive line, but they have been battle tested. They played some snaps last year. And you got that monster Evan Neal at left tackle. So let's keep that in mind. What happened to Matt Morelli? Is he still on the roster? I haven't heard anything that he's not. So, yeah, I'm sure he's still on the roster. It's just that, guys, you got Matt Morelli, Hodges, Khalil Brantley, who he could make some plays this year. Don't be shocked. We got a nice tight end room. But Matt Morelli, Hodges, they all got beat out by Arroyo. I mean, that tight end 2 spot was, pretty much all his by the end of the first day of practice. So that's why I'm saying he's special. Rooster playing on the scout team, that means he's suspended. Haven't heard anything officially. That would be a shame. I would have loved to have Rooster on the field because that's a guy that can really cause matchup nightmares. So for that reason, another freshman we could see is Brashard Smith. Agreed, 10+ sacks. Oh, about DeAndre Johnson? Maybe. Somebody's going to have 8 to 10 sacks this year. It happens every year in a Manny Diaz defense. So it could be him, could be Zach, Harvey. It could be any of these guys. I could see any of those 4. Let's see. What else? What else can we discuss? So, yeah, Zach McCloud at the end. We beat that dead horse already. Amari Carter at striker. We discussed that. Safety, we'll touch on that really quick. I love that Cam Kinchens and James Williams are listed officially on the 2 deep as the backup safeties. I love that. Because you got other veterans there. You got Keyshawn Washington. You got, Balaam's hurt. But you know what I mean? I think that shows that these guys are not favoring seniority as much anymore. Because I think that was to send a message. That's like, yeah, if you can play, you're getting on the field. I think there's no question James Williams is getting on the field in that first game. Maybe Cam Kitchens. I'm not as sure about him. We'll see. But let's see. John, he had 4.5 in limited action SEC play. Yeah, man. Look, DeAndre Johnson, limited play and playing out of position. Don't forget. Because if I remember correctly, he was playing in a 3-4, like 3-4 D end, and now he's 4-3 D end. Yeah, that's more his position. Hopefully Knighton isn't suspended. I'm curious as to whether we see 2 running back set with Knighton and Smith. That's what everybody's saying, man, to cause we will see that during the season, and it's going to be fun. I hope we see some Wildcat out of that formation. Yeah, when you watch him at Tennessee, he was dominant. Yeah, I don't know about dominant, but he was solid. He made plays. He was disruptive. Wide receiver. Let's touch on that really quick. Another reason that I think the seniority thing has gone out the window, because from day 1 of fall camp, and it's been pretty consistent throughout, like all the way to the end, the 3 starting receivers are Harley, Smith, and Rambo. I think Smith will have the biggest breakout season of all the receivers. However, there are possible there are candidates in that freshman class that could have a breakout season. Rashard Smith, who I mentioned before. Jacoby George, I think, could start taking some playing time away from one of those guys on the outside, maybe like a Michael Redding. And that was another thing. It was nice to see Michael Redding on the depth chart because that tells me he's healthy, finally. I want Cody Brown. I still say he will be starting by the end of the year. Oh, that's right. You made that prediction a while back. I mean, if he could jump over the guys that are in front of him, good God. Cody Brown, I mean, he would deserve it if he can jump those guys in the depth chart. But Javier, I can almost guarantee you that Cody Brown will see action. All right. He can play up to 4 games and still redshirt. So, and there's a few games where there's going to be a lot of garbage time this year, hopefully. Instead of just blowing out like 2 opponents this year, I see us blowing out like 4 or 5. And guys like Cody Brown, Thad Franklin, Kinchins, Avante once he serves his suspension. Who else? George and Brinson. I think guys like that are going to get as many snaps as they can get them. What kind of role will LT play in this game? Can you see him making an impact? Now, to my surprise, and if you haven't caught their episode from last night from Canes Breakdown, please go watch it. I watched it this morning, and Steve-O and Max were saying, yeah, LT will see limited to no playing time in this game, most likely, because it's the opener, it's against Alabama, and he's a true freshman. Here is my slight rebuttal to that. Even though those guys I know have a little more inside knowledge than I do, or maybe a lot more. But I think that's one of those aces in the hole that Manny Diaz has that, he didn't mention his name in the 2 deep, but I heard very good things from him, not just from the scrimmages, which we all heard, but in practice, just in general, that dude is already very mature. As far as he looks like a grown man on the field is what I'm trying to say. I don't know where he's at mentally. I haven't heard any complaints in that regard either, but I think LT will play in this game. I think he has more of a role than the coaches are letting on, let's just say. I think he will be in there in certain packages. And I mean, if you remember 2008 when we went up to the swamp, all those from that great Northwestern class, yes, they all had to play out of necessity, but Marcus Forston, I remember, got in that game and wasn't too bad. So there is a precedent for that. I think LT can see a few snaps here and there and hang with these grown men. I really do. I think it'll be good for him. So let's see. Do you think we should try to be balanced on offense or one-dimensional passing the ball against them, similar to Ole Miss last season? It depends on the flow of the game. Definitely start with that short passing attack. Maybe throw a couple of wrinkles in there, a jet sweep. Maybe, play action, try a bomb down the field, just to, little warning shot. Start with that. And if it's working, keep doing it. Definitely just, step on their throats if that's the case. But if they start responding to it, then yeah, obviously you can't be one-dimensional. You only stay one-dimensional if that's what's working. So it depends on the flow of the game. But they got to start with kind of like that Ole Miss game plan of just pass, and, high percentage plays. So let's see. What else can we cover? I think that's about it. I mean, I saw no other real surprises on the depth chart aside from that quarterback, obviously, running back, receiver, tight end, offensive line, pretty much what I expected. Nice to see DJ Scaife kind of jump up and take that starting job at right tackle. I think of the two, he's the better right tackle, and I think Jared Williams is a nice backup. Have King improve on his deep ball accuracy? I mean, his deep ball accuracy was already pretty good, but if he can get even better at that, that'd be great. Let's see. Hello, Degeneration Nation. No, wrong comments. LT this year will probably be like Brian Breezy in his freshman year at Clemson. Ooh. If he can be that, I'll be very happy. But yeah, I can see that happening. He's that talented. John, all of Bama's injured players are playing, but are they 100%? That's the key. We'll see. It hasn't been stated which conference refs will be the refs will be coming from. I would imagine usually it's going to be like a Big Ten reffing crew or something like that. Usually they do a good job of making it impartial. But if anybody in the comments knows, I have no idea. But let's see. I know. Oh, Tyreek Stevenson, I think, was named as like the punt returner. I have my thoughts on that. I know they want a sure-handed guy back there. I would rather have a playmaker back there. I'd rather have X. I'm okay with putting a freshman back at kickoff because honestly, you should be able to hold on to the ball when you're getting hit. That I don't care what year, I don't care how old you are, you got to be able to hang on to the ball. However, on kickoffs, let's say, you bobble it or whatever, you have plenty of time to regain yourself and return it, or you just let it go for a touchback. I think the younger playmakers should be there at kickoff. Punt return, I mean, we don't want to have another situation like Jeff Thomas muffing a punt against Florida and we end up losing the game because of it. So yeah, I'd rather have a playmaker, but I don't know. I don't know who would you trust back there? Rashard Smith would be an excellent returner. I agree. I mean, it shouldn't get to the point where you're afraid to put a true freshman back there because we have PTSD of guys muffing punts. I mean, you should be able to catch a damn punt, period. I don't care what year you're in. Anywhere on Zion's availability, Zion, yes, thank you, Boogie. Zion is good. He is, from what I heard and from what I figured, that him being held out of practice and then working on him in the back, that was precautionary. He is your potential All-American left tackle. I said all offseason, all camp, if he's 80%, he's going to play. And it seems like he's going to play. That's kind of what I thought all along. It was mostly precautionary. He's good to go. All right. So, like I said, this is going to be a shorter show. Let's see what else we got. I love Amari Carter starting at striker, was excellent in blitzes when Manny was D-corner previously. That's what I was saying. I'm telling you, Amari Carter has his strengths, and I think I like them moving him into that role. I really like it. Let's see. Put Rambo on punt return. He's been getting reps at practice. Yes, look, as long as it's a guy that can make people miss and get us that hidden yardage. But also, don't shoot yourself in the foot. Let's see. We need to win time of possession, be on the plus side equals a Canes win. Yeah, that's the only place that I think they have a strong advantage in this time of possession. But again, if we can disrupt them on defense, cause some turnovers, end some of their drives early, and turn one of those turnovers into a quick touchdown, that's what will have them stumbling. Then we can win the time of possession after that. Oh, and that's most important, not just for this game, for the rest of the season. No stupid penalties. No, I don't want to see we get a huge interception to kill Alabama's drive and then all of a sudden, somebody lined up offsides. No, that can't happen. That can't happen. You got to eradicate the dumb penalties from this team. If they did that successfully this offseason, then my prediction of 10-2 is going to come true. If not, 11-1. All right, we'll end on this. New turnover chain is definitely making an appearance. I agree. I think it will. At some point, a ball is going to pop out. I think we'll cause some pressure. We'll pressure Bryce Young into an interception. And that turnover chain is going to come out. What do you guys think it's going to be? Because someone created the hurricane warning flag last week, and we featured it on the show on Sunday. It was pretty cool. I liked it. A lot of people have been, for the last couple of years, actually, that's been the rumored turnover chain. It hasn't come to fruition yet. However, that would be cool to see. I would love to see one that I've always wanted is a bit of a throwback. It was from the late 90s. I think it was only for like the 98 season. It was the U logo with like the little cyclone around it. That it was in the middle of the field that year and everything. That would be cool. Let's see what else. Old English M that the baseball players wear. That would be cool. Let's see. The pipe, that would probably be my favorite, kind of an pay homage to the late great Howard Schnellenberger. That would be cool to see. Speaking of, Flo, what's going on, man? Tony Montana on the new turnover chain. Oh, that would be great. After what happened in Louisiana, that might be too soon. Yes. The hurricane warning flag. That's true. That's a good point. I didn't think of that. But I mean, whatever it is, the turnover chain's already been made. So, Gage, what's going on, man? Unfortunately, it caught me a little late because I'm logging off in a few minutes, but rewatch squad. So again, final prediction. I have Alabama with objective watcher of football. I have Alabama winning a close game by between 7 to 10 points. Canes, please prove me wrong. If anybody on the team is watching this, prove me wrong. I want to eat crow on this one. Please prove me wrong. Jump on these guys early. Force Bryce Young into some bad decisions. Swarm on defense. Please, and on offense, run your routes. Run crisp routes. Get open. Catch the ball. King, I know you're going to deliver some accurate balls. Offensive line, I mean, just go in there and impose your will. Forget about who's in front of you. Just go. Just steamroll those guys in front of you. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And you know what? I was going to say, cocky Kane fan might come out of me for my Cafecito show on Saturday. You know what? I think it's starting to come out right now. But we'll end on that. The party is at Flanagan's if we beat Pam on Miami Lakes. Bosworth, every Flanagan's, every sports grill, every place, every good sports bar in the city is going to be popping off that night into Sunday. Trust me. So if that happens, that's going to be fun. Gang tackle like the old days. Yes. All right. I just downloaded the Crowded app. Oh, quick shout out to the Crowded app. Those guys that we had on our show a couple weeks ago, the Crowded app is up. Go download it. Follow them on Instagram. I just followed them. Follow them on Twitter. It's a really cool app where basically it's this app where you go in. It's kind of like it's almost like a Facebook, Instagram kind of thing for like a hub for sports fans, but they're releasing it specifically at first for Canes fans, where you can share your pictures and your videos from being in the stadium from not just from current season, from like old games. So you can see like the games or a certain play from different angles and stuff. It's really cool. Go check it out. Go download it. Flo, you're not going to be able to shake that ever. So John's fixing gal. I figured I would tell everyone that JR on the Big Dog just came on. Yes. All right. So jump off my channel. Go straight to JR on the Big Dog. Great to see the Big Dog back. Great to see him healthy again. Much love. Hey, John Jr. Big Dog is on live. Yes. So that is my cue. I'm going to log off. You know what? I planned it perfectly to only be on 45 minutes. So love you guys. Thank you for showing support. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I will be doing my Cafecito show Saturday morning. I'm working on a guest. And that's going to be where I think all objectivity is going to go out the window. And did I say JR? No, Junior in the Big Dog. Okay. Yeah, I think all my objectivity is going to go out the window Saturday morning, and cocky Cane fans going to fully come out. So Godspeed. Love you guys. Go Canes. Have a good night.